Real booking. Cry me a river. Welcome to Book It a Wrestling podcast for the fans, by the fans. We book, read, book, and visit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Little X Fudge, and today we are here with your GMs, Damone, D Money.
Oh, my brother, testify.
Somehow Devon got lamer. The bad guy, Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
And the fifth return of Hi-Fi Mike.
Yeah.
We got some Diet Kenny going on.
No, I was gonna say Bill looks like a lady, but decided that I don't know why I do that.
Yes.
He was
These are
looking
trying
at John
times,
when he
It's
Mike,
thought of
just
that
can't
stuck
do
in
that.
my head because I've been playing guitar, and
Nah, he was looking at John.
You've been watching Mrs. Doubtfire a lot lately?
I've been not watching Miss Doubtfire, but I think about Miss Doubtfire at least once a day.
That
That's
is
a
a
lot.
wild thing to think about once a day.
That is a lot.
There's a lot of
Like,
there's
once
a
a
lot
month, I would give you. Once
no,
a week
once,
is pushing
probably
it.
once a day. I think about Robin Williams at least once a day, and
That's still a lot.
That's a
That
lot.
tends to go into no, that's not a lot. He's Robin Williams.
Robert
I don't know
Williams
if
is
I think
great,
about
but
me once a
Robin
day.
Williams.
I don't think
Jim-
about him maybe once a month. If someone mentions like Aladdin or a show a movie he was on, that's reaching.
three people that
Yeah,
I,
Mike,
I,
you're
I can
glazing
tell
low,
you,
bro.
3 people I'll tell you that I think about daily that pop in my head. Well, at least 3 people: Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, and Robin Williams.
I love Jim Carrey, and I don't think about him once a day.
And once in a while, less so, maybe not once a day, but at least 3 times a week, Chris Farley.
Damn, no wonder Mike don't watch wrestling. He's too busy watching all these damn movies.
No. I said think about him. I constantly repeat these things in my head. Welcome to ADHD. This is what happens. Why
That's a
can't
wild
I get anything done?
hyperfixation.
Because I'm thinking about Chris Farley.
Like, my hyperfixation's Nick Nemeth, but yours is just like a random assortment of 90s comedy actors, which, I mean, I respect it, but it's different.
It'll all come out.
Definitely
in
some
Book of Verse.
neurodivergency
Right.
there.
Book of Verse 5 is gonna.
That's why he loves SNL.
Yeah.
I love SNL, but I love
Mike's going to revive SNL, make it
70s
better.
SNL is the best SNL.
I wouldn't know because I don't watch shit from 3 generations before me.
It was back when you could say slurs.
There was some wild stuff from 1976 to 79 or 70. Yeah, 70.
Broke up the span. He's like, these are the slur years. Yeah.
I mean, that was just the slur years of America.
I'm surprised it wasn't the 80s, to be real.
No, the
Like
80s,
Hulk Hogan's prime. I feel like he was just slinging that thing around.
80s SNL is kind of meh.
Yeah.
Though they did have Eddie Murphy, and he elevated that cast by a lot.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy, even though I watched his like 80s comedy special, and it was like, it obviously didn't hold up on all fronts.
Apparently
It was still
Raw,
very funny.
Yeah, Raw or Delirious?
Delirious.
So you're watching the right order then. So now you gotta watch Raw.
Okay, big bet. I'd rather watch that than
like
Raw on Netflix.
No, we don't do that. The women are cooked tonight. The Io Sky or Damage Control versus Judgment Day, they cooked.
Was that a banger?
There's a banger. Liv got color too, unintentionally, but she got
really
color.
don't think about Robin Williams at least once a day.
No,
that's kind of wild.
I don't
I'm
even think
sure
about Robin
there's
Williams
something,
once a
but
year.
There's probably something I
was gonna
think
say, I
about
don't
once a
either.
day,
I think about
but
him a lot.
no.
I really think about him a lot.
Anywho,
I appreciate him, but like he's also like wasn't my style. Like I'm more of like a Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly comedy fan.
It's just in general, he's such a nice guy, man. It's a shame.
Oh yeah,
life sucks.
rest in peace, Robin Williams. You're a real one.
I'm gonna
So,
have to draft him
on
to
a-
kill him in Bucketverse.
That's crazy.
$5, $5.50.
That's crazy.
Speaking of scores, I won't get tonight. We are continuing on with the Book It verse. We are finishing up my Book It verse. This will be the last one I present in Book It verse 4. Next week is the Bookie Awards. Tune in to see if I three-peat for Hater of the Year, unlike the Kansas City Chiefs. And
Honestly, you don't
after that,
deserve it.
oh no, I've been
Don't
putting
deserve it this year.
you just wait till Travis's shows after I win the award. I'm going to show why I won it. Like,
I mean,
Or
I
will
know I'm gonna hate
John?
for it.
3
Or
hour
will
shits.
John choke like the Kansas City Chiefs?
John
I
definitely
lose the
campaigned
award on
for
the
it.
three-peat. I'm actually going to cry real tears. Real tears.
I'd laugh just like I did for the
Blast me
Chiefs.
a river.
Wait, you brought up 5.5. I'm trying to think. I feel like everybody gave up their 5.5s
Yeah, I think
already.
we've all used ours.
Yeah,
I gave
think we've
mine to
all used
Travis,
it.
actually, the guy I've sworn I'm going to hate on.
I gave mine to Kenny.
I
Yeah,
don't know who I gave mine to.
But to be fair,
You
had
gave yours to me.
Damone done the Lincoln Gangrel match first, I would have given to that over what I gave to Travis. So I kind of regretted it. But I liked seeing Stone Cold and Shark Boy interact.
Give me
But
a
yeah, this will be the
show,
last.
yeah.
This will be the last of my Book It verse, and then we have the bookies, and then like 8 years of Travis presenting his Book It verse as he's doing his toward the end. So if you are an enjoyer of long form content, you don't get a long form content. So buckle up, enjoy the ride, and finish out Book It verse 4 with us before we strap in for number 5 and a number of other escapades. But tonight it is PPW Armageddon Part 2. And our show begins with the "Are you ready?" hitting and your host, your holiday cheermeisters, D-Generation X, making their third appearance of the night. Joey Styles on commentary says, "We've sure seen a lot of these guys tonight." Triple H comes out with a microphone and says, "I know we already gave you the gift of kicking the Rock and the Young Bucks' asses, but tonight, DX is the gift that keeps on giving." Shawn Michaels says, "Tonight, you've seen Santa, Secret Santa, and the Grinch. But what about Santa's little helpers?" Triple H says, "There are guys in this locker room who gave their everything and never asked for anything in return. That ends tonight. General Manager Dan the Dad has granted us permission to make a match for a future top of the world title shot, as long as we don't put ourselves in it." Shawn cuts in, "Cut someone else down to get themselves ahead? What kind of scumbag would do that?" Triple H and Shawn Michaels look at each other and laugh. Triple H continues, "So we've created the Santa's Helper Street Fight. We've picked 4 wrestlers who will have access to all the toys in Santa's workshop." Shawn cuts in, "And not the kind in my bedroom." Triple H looks at him funny and then goes on, "This match is for one fall. One fall." I love when indie shows do that shit, by the way. They count anywhere, and it starts right now. Let's introduce our helpers. First comes out John Morrison wearing white gear with red designs with green rhinestones. Shawn introduces him as the man who never fails to impress in the ring and is keeping the bedazzler in business. Next comes out Nick Nemeth wearing black tights with jingle bells and mistletoe all over them. Triple H introduces him as Shawn Michaels' uncle's cousin. Definitely the best hairline in the family, though. Not to mention the man who steals the show and your mom's crimper. Shawn says, "Now this next wrestler is not employed by PPW, but he might be employed by Buckle. He makes up for whatever lack of wins and titles with YouTube views." Triple H says, "Inspiring the great likes of Maven and Stevie Richards." Shawn says, "Last seen dyeing his beard in RCW, Zack Ryder," who comes out sporting his 2010 look, spiked bleach hair, headbands, one-legged tights, and shades.
Woo
Triple H
woo
says,
woo.
"Oh yeah, woo woo woo, you know it." I love that era of Zack Ryder. It's my favorite shit. Triple H says, "This last wrestler doesn't know he's in this match. In fact, he may not even be dressed to compete. However, he's been a cornerstone of many TV shows. Usually not the wrestling ones, but it's still nice." Shawn gets excited and says, "Do you think his wife will show up? She's such a slay." Triple H looks at him funny again as The Miz's music plays. The Miz stands up from commentary, gets on the table, takes off his jacket and tie, and then his pants to reveal that he had his ring gear on underneath, and they say mistletoe on them. Give me my fives, please. So now for the spots, each man starts off by grabbing a weapon. Miz grabs a Singapore candy cane. Zack Ryder has a tied up stocking with Cole to use as a flail. Nemeth has a bat wrapped with tinsel instead of barbed wire. And Morrison throws cookies off the cookie sheet at the other guys to grab a cookie sheet and start the match. They each exchange one shot to the back with their respective weapons before running to the outside. All weapons in the ring are in wrapping paper. Morrison unwraps a chair faster than Miz can unwrap a ladder. Nemeth can unwrap a table, and Ryder can untie the mysterious bag. Morrison does parkour at ringside. He runs off the apron and hits a corkscrew twist with a chair on the Miz. He runs on the barricade and hits a running shooting star on Ryder. He hops up to the apron, dodges a clothesline from Nemeth, and backflips off, but Nemeth shoves a table at him, knocking him out of the air. Nemeth sets up a table at ringside as the North Pole crowd chants, "We want tables." Ryder slides in the ring and finally unties the bag to pour Legos all over the ring.
I
Miz
forgot
slide-
you were at the North Pole.
Yeah, we in North Pole, Alaska, baby. Santa's workshop. We got elves in the crowd. This festive as fuck.
I watched that Mel I think it was a Mel Gibson Christmas movie, and he was Santa
Don't bring Mel
Claus.
Gibson anywhere near our show. We like the
Well,
Jewish community.
Well, and I'll tell you, you went right to him because the movie was based as Santa Claus in North Pole, Alaska. So that's all you, dog.
I'm only acknowledging the Tim Allen Santa Claus. That's as problematic as I'll go.
That's still pretty problematic.
It's pretty problematic, but it's not Mel Gibson bad. Like
Yeah, have you
that's
seen
on like
his
a
new show?
Roseanne Barr kind of bad, not
His
like
new
Mel
show's
Gibson.
not that good, but he's not the problem in his new show. It's Kat.
Don't you dare Don't you dare speak bad of her. She's a fucking saint.
She's not a good actress.
She's a great actress. She's a fucking saint.
In that show, in that
I don't
first
care.
episode, she was pretty bad.
The wrestling community
surprised me.
fumbled her. We had her, and we fumbled it.
I didn't know about that.
She
I
was
don't know about that either.
Yeah, she said like I think she watched like WrestleMania. She watched one of the big ones and like she put it on Twitter. And then of course the wrestling community bombarded her with like AEW's better. You need to watch AEW.
Yeah,
this.
That's not,
And then
that has nothing to do with that show.
Me scaring the hose like.
I can't help that the show was not good. I got to give another shot because.
But you do not speak bad of
Girls be like, I like wrestling. Rhea Ripley's cool. I'm like,
have you seen Will Ospreay?
All right, go on with your show.
He had a 5-star banger with Bryan Danielson.
Like, that's me. I can't even lie. But anyways, Miz slides his ladder into the ring and sets it up in the corner. Ryder attempts to Rough Rider Miz onto the ladder, but the Miz catches him and sit out power bombs him onto the Legos, leaving them both jumping in pain for a comedic oversell. Nemeth goes in the ring and sets the ladder up right. He climbs halfway, waiting for Miz and Ryder to get up. They both get up hunched over as Nemeth hits a leg drop for a double Faymaster. Morrison throws a chair to Nemeth, springs into the ring, and flying chucks it into his face. Miz throws Ryder into the corner. Him and Morrison give each other the nod to work together. Morrison holds the chair on Ryder's chest while Miz hits the jump through rope clothesline and throws Ryder back into a moonlight drive onto the Legos. Nemeth tries to fight them both with a stinger splash, but Morrison pulls Miz out of the way, and then they hit their old slingshot elbow finisher with Miz holding a chair onto Nemeth's chest. Miz and Morrison hit their poses in the center of the ring until Miz betrays Morrison with a chop block, it kicks, and leg swing DDT. He attempts a pin but gets hit with the 10 elbows by Nemeth. Ryder drags Miz and Morrison to the corner. Him and Nemeth both do the woo 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 for double broski boots. They throw Miz and Morrison to the outside. Miz falls to the floor. Morrison holds on to the apron that is next to the table. Ryder fixes the ladder, climbs it halfway, and then hits a Rough Rider on Morrison off the apron through the table. Nemeth was holding the ladder until the Miz comes in from behind, puts the Singapore candy cane around Nemeth's neck, and hits the skull-crushing finale on and pins Nemeth 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so there wasn't much of a build to this. And I get what you were doing with the build, doing the comedic stuff with DX. They didn't really hit, but I get what you were trying to do.
Damn.
So this is all match, or this is 99.9% match. So I'm gonna give you a 3.5. I think I wish that it wasn't the Miz that won.
Hmm.
Like I know we didn't really get any of these guys' character, but I almost wish Morrison had won so that we could like, and realistically, obviously this isn't WWE or anything, but we could get maybe in the future. Obviously, we wouldn't see it here or now. In the future, we could get Morrison getting a title shot instead of someone who's already been a world champion before.
Yeah.
But
Um.
I'm not like super upset that Miz won, but
Yeah. Miz is also one of the people I have for next Bookiverse, and I'm not sure if I have Morrison, but that was part of it. But also,
You
I
do
kind
not
of
have
wanted to give the shock factor of a commentator winning.
okay. Oh yeah, I forgot he is a commentator. Yeah. So you know what? I'll give you an extra penny. 3.5
Yeah, I got a
for
penny.
the audacity of having a commentator win a number one contendership.
But yeah, you don't have John Morrison. I do. But I will say this: the build, just like Damone said, there really wasn't no build. Comedic spots weren't really hitting like that for me in the build, but the actual match, I love the idea of the match, and that's where I'm at too with it.
Hmm.
So I'm at a 3.25. I wasn't as high as he was, but I was at a 3.25.
Gotcha.
I liked it. I mean, it was short. It was sweet. I'll give you 4.25.
Like a
Hell
champ.
yeah. I was trying to do like just I wanted to do the mid card mafia, but I didn't want to do like a whole story centered around it. So I
Mid
thought like a fun Santa's Little Helper match would be a nice Christmas treat.
Mid
Um,
Car Mafia is
Mafia is
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, we're not
that
good
would,
enough to be main eventers. We got the mid card
they're
home
all good
box.
enough. They just all were in that era where John Cena was holding on too damn long.
Well,
So like they all
so
got hoed.
hold
You
on.
could add Kofi to it too.
Bad guy, you said you
Um,
had John Morrison?
for
Yeah,
next book of verse, Kitty
for next
does.
book of
Next
verse.
book of verse. I thought you meant this book of verse. I was really
Yeah,
confused.
I've
No,
used it a bunch
First
of
of
people
all,
ain't
unless
gotten this
he,
book of verse.
I was like, first of all,
unless
he
he
doesn't
has
fit the roster.
unless he has black blood in him.
I was gonna say John
Well,
Morrison in
To be
the
fair,
He
all
you
took
had
that
black.
spray pan too
you had
far.
Big
He went a
Boss Man,
shade too
right?
dark.
Well, Big
So
Boss Man was a racist cop in my
right.
universe.
So for all I know, you
What would
got
John
him as
Morrison be,
Johnny
a racist
Racist.
yoga instructor?
That's crazy. A racist yoga instructor is insane.
Johnny Racist.
I did think about having just a random white guy before I thought about Big Boss
That's what
Man.
I
I thought about
thought.
having a random white guy. I
Just
was gonna
one
just call
random
him
white
Token.
guy.
I was gonna call him Token. He was gonna be just the white
He's
guy,
gonna
who the
wear
token white guy.
a T on his
You should
shirt.
have done that. Just a random white guy. It didn't matter who it was.
It's just some guy. He's just
Yeah.
there.
He was gonna be in the comedy division, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do
It
that.
would just be your
You
Owen
should have
Hart.
just
And
had him in the walk the crowd. Like he didn't even have to do anything. He just has to walk the crowd. He's just got to be the one guy.
until you make him win the world title.
Yeah. He runs in like on accident.
The one white guy in the company is your world champion.
He stumbles
Yeah,
across. Like
I'm not pushing the white guy.
he just kind of stumbles across it and pins the guy.
His gimmick is White Lives Matter.
So it
That's gross.
A Black History
Um,
Month, guys.
During
it's crazy that we
February.
don't have any BOA
thought,
shows during Black History Month.
We didn't. We really didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
go ahead and watch it if you haven't seen it. Go ahead and check it
yeah,
out.
it's too late to vote for Kenny for some awards too. I hope he wins something, or Damone.
I'm trying to win Bookie Boy, not Bookie Boy. I'm trying to win the Bookiverse winner.
Oh yeah, you have a shot at that. I don't, so I'm out of your way. That's my service to the Black
I'm
community.
pretty sure you got it.
I book so bad that I can't win.
That's crazy.
Unless Travis somehow
That's my
pulls us
activism.
away with the greatest book adverse ever, I'm pretty sure Kenny ran away with this one.
Hey, that'd be nice.
So
At least a
building up
black guy
to
will
Money in
still
the
win.
Bank. Can't even start this bill. Y'all keep saying funny shit. Shut up. Building up to Money in the Bank at Big Business, Jimmy Hart went from managing and translating for Shota Umino to adding the dangerous and unhinged Hangman Page to the fold, telling Hangman in secret that he's the Jordan, Umino is the Pippin. Tensions were building between the two, but neither ended up winning Money in the Bank. Following that, Shota still hates Hangman but remains loyal to Jimmy. They constantly one-up each other in their singles matches with each other at ringside or tag themselves in to show off during tag matches. Jimmy tries to present himself as impartial but clearly favors Hangman. This is shown most apparent during a match where Hangman was having with Super Crazy. Hangman chose to get off the apron when he was setting up for the buckshot, talk trash to Shota, getting in his face. They start shoving one each other. Jimmy holds Shota back. Hangman goes back up for the buckshot and gets victory rolled in an embarrassing loss. Shota is laughing at Hangman until Jimmy starts screaming at Shota. Later that night, cameras follow the drama backstage. Hangman, Shota, and Jimmy are seated at a corridor, and Hangman is screaming, "I should be contending for world titles, but instead, I'm dealing with this bullshit. Jimmy isn't the problem. He's gotten us both opportunities. The problem is you. You would be best suited carrying my bags and taking falls for the real star here. Jimmy, you better make sure he understands that before you two really piss me off." Shota starts to yell at Jimmy in Japanese with the subtitles saying, "Jimmy, I don't understand why this guy is around, but if he doesn't tread lightly, I will break his jaw and fire you." Uh, but Jimmy seems to calm him down, saying, in Japanese, "Shota, Hangman is means to an end. We will get you to the top of the promotion. Just trust in me." Shota walks away, and Jimmy then turns to Hangman and says, "It should be handled. He's dumb as rocks. Soon, you'll be world champion." Uh, this calms things down, and they're able to get along okay for the remainder of that month. For month 2 of the build, think the next month, after a couple of more tag wins, Shota and Hangman are a number 1 contenders match against the Nemeth brothers to face the registered flex offenders at Guilty as Charged. Things fall apart between the two when Hangman tags himself in when it wasn't needed. They get into a scuffle, and the Nemeth brothers are able to hit the danger zone and walk away with the win. Hangman then walks away, seemingly ending the partnership with Hart and Umino. The next week, Jimmy is seen with Shota speaking in Japanese with subtitles on the screen saying, "Shota, I know you're upset and we faced obstacles, but we need Hangman to get you to the top. He's a valuable ally. You should apologize to him and work around his prickly personality. It will benefit you in the end." Hangman walks in and says, "Jimmy, does he understand his role yet? Does he understand? Sorry, I missed his spot. Does he understand that this is about me? I swear to God, Jimmy, you better not be two-timing me." Jimmy says to Hangman, "No, I'm two-timing him. This idiot eats up every word I say. He's going to apologize and be right back to doing his job. He thinks he's my guy, but I swear to you, Hangman, you are the guy that's going to take us to the moon." Jimmy tells Shota in Japanese, "Hangman is happy to work together again. He's angry with me due to a misunderstanding. Now apologize." Shota says, sorry, I was seeing what language does it. He says in Japanese, "I'm sorry for my actions. Let's focus on wrestling and help one another," and extends his hand. Hangman looks at Jimmy and accepts. They're able to manage one another to singles wins the next week and a tag team win over the Hardys. To start, as you know, this month began with a tag team battle royal. At first, Hangman and Shota are in lockstep and even scored an elimination together, where Hangman buckshotted over a kneeling Shota and threw out Julius Creed. Then Hangman gets hit with a poetry in motion by the Hardys into a corner. Following that, Hangman gets angry and starts yelling at Shota, "Why didn't you help me?" Shota is trying to point and tell him to focus, but Hangman gets thrown out of the ring. Hangman throws a fit, runs back into the ring, and then eliminates Shota from the Battle Royal. Shota is shown in a recap clip later on walking backstage. Jimmy tries to stop him backstage, fast talking him in Japanese. Shota says in English, "Next week, we talk." The next week, you see the silhouette of Shota sitting in a dark room with only the lights being the only lights being a TV and his phone. On the screen is clips of Jimmy, Shota, and Hangman with Japanese closed captions. On his phone is videos of Hangman and Jimmy talking behind his back. This plays creepily in the dark room until Shota gets a knock on the door. From the outside, you hear Jimmy in Japanese, translated to, "Shota, let's discuss. Please let me in." Shota opens the door and shows Jimmy the chair. Jimmy says, "What's this?" Shota shuts and locks the door and says in English, "I understand now." Jimmy runs to the door, but Shota throws him at the TV. He punches, kicks, and throws him around the room. Jimmy is begging for him to stop in 2 different languages until the feed stops. Later that night is a qualifier match for Armageddon Hell in a Cell for the world title. We'll discuss more on that later. Shota Umino is scheduled to face Kenny Omega. The match is a competitive banger for about 12 minutes. Both guys are winded, getting up in their corners. You then see Hangman come to ringside from the crowd, steal a fan's chair at ringside, and then get in the ring behind Umino, rearing up to swing the chair, but he ends up hitting Omega instead. The bell rings, and Omega is awarded the victory via disqualification. Omega cuts a promo that week that will be shown in full later during that build, saying that he won't accept that victory. He understands Umino and Hangman have deeper issues, but he will only accept a shot at the world title if he's the best in the world. He challenges both Shota Umino and Hangman to a triple threat for the spot in the Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. The match takes place, and it's clear Omega is focused on winning the title, while Umino and Hangman are focused on hating one another. Umino is finally getting focused offense in on Omega, setting up for the Death Rider until Hangman hits Umino in the back with a chair and wails on him until Omega gets up and attacks Hangman. They exchange moves until Omega comes out on top, setting up for the one-winged angel. Shota, from the ground, slides the chair below where Hangman is about to land, so he one-winged angels Hangman onto the chair. Omega pins Hangman 1, 2, 3. On the go-home show before Armageddon, Shota Umino goes out to the ring and makes himself abundantly clear when he says, Hangman, Jimmy, we will fight, and we will fight now. He slams down the mic and aggressively paces in the ring. He said that in English, by the way. I got to clarify the language. And aggressively paces the ring. Jimmy comes out to the entrance ramp alone with a big bandage across his forehead, saying, "It seems you no longer need my translating services, but what you do need is accountability. You lost Money in the Bank, and you couldn't help Adam Page either. You kept yourself from being tag team champions with him, and now you screwed him from becoming world champion. These stupid fans may not have the taste to discern your character, but I will make sure you pay the piper. This Sunday at Armageddon," Hangman buckshots in the ring from behind and clubs Shota in the back of the neck before punching Umino's face wide open. Hangman slides a chair into the ring and then hits a dead eye on Umino onto it. Jimmy finishes the promo saying, "This Sunday at Armageddon, the Umino experiment is over. The loser of this match, you, Shota, will leave PPW forever." To get to the attires before the match, Hangman is wearing black pants with yellow Southern designs, while Umino is wearing white with red designs and Rising Sun decals. The match begins with the two running towards the center of the ring and quickly punching each other in the face to the roar of the crowd. Umino begins to take control, getting all the punches in. He arm drags Hangman across the ring. Hangman looks frustrated already as Umino drop kicks him square in the face. Hangman slides away to the outside. Jimmy hops up on the apron to jaw Umino, but Umino backhands him off to the pop of the crowd. Hangman gets back in the ring. Umino goes for a twisted crossbody off the second rope, but gets caught. Hangman hits a fallaway slam into the corner, sending Umino crashing. Jimmy distracts the ref, following Hangman to choke him with his foot for longer until the ref is able to turn around and stop him. Umino fights his way out of the corner with repeated European uppercuts, then hits the ropes for a fast sling blade. When Hangman gets up from that, Umino drop kicks his knee and double foot stamps him in the back. Umino goes for a sunset flip, but gets reversed into a shockingly early deadeye. 1, 2, he barely kicks out. Hangman then slows down the match with a long headstand chinlock. Umino is able to fight his way up with claps from the crowd and hoist Hangman up for a full reverse suplex, right where you lift them up from like the chin and then hoist them up like reverse. Hangman attempts another deadeye, but Umino reverses it into a snap German suplex, landing Hangman on his neck. Umino quickly transitions into a bridging pin, but Hangman kicks out at the last moment, narrowly escaping defeat. Hangman sets Umino up for a fireman's carry into a rolling slam, but Umino wriggles free and in one smooth motion hits a Frankensteiner, driving Hangman's head into the mat. He covers for another near fall, but Hangman kicks out. Jimmy Hart tries to get involved once again, trying to distract the referee. Hangman takes the opportunity to grab a steel chair, attempting to hit Umino in the face with it again. As Hangman swings, Umino ducks, and instead the chair hits Jimmy off the apron. and then Umino hits a super kick with an STO following after. Um, After a sequence of hard-hitting strikes, Umino ducks the clothesline from Hangman and nails him with a spinning back elbow right to the temple. Hangman stumbles and Umino follows that up with a springboard cutter, leaving Hangman on the mat. Umino covers, but Hangman barely kicks out again. Hangman rolls to the apron. Jimmy Hart hops up on the adjacent corner. Umino hoists Jimmy over the top rope and Death Riders him into the ring. Hangman then attempts to buckshot, but as soon as his feet hit the match, Umino Death Riders him on top of Jimmy, and he stacks them both for the pin. 1, 2, 3.
What is the Death Rider again?
It's like the version that Moxley does of his finisher in New Japan, where like he lifts him up for. It's the same as the Dirty Deeds, except he does a bigger lift with it.
Okay.
And Umino does it like 100 times better than Moxley, honestly.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a 5. I think you did a really good job overall with this story, like overarching across, and I really the way you did the reveal. I like that Umino had figured out that he was being played. You had the right person won, not just because you don't have Hangman next time, but it, for the story, the right person won as well. Now Umino can go do other things and worry about other stuff. Yeah, it's 5. Also, I appreciate that you pronounce one winged angel because it that way, because that's the way that what's his face pronounces it.
Oh, Kenny.
Kenny, yeah, that's how he pronounces it. So fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Travis.
It's a one-winged angel.
It's one
Talk your
winged.
shit. But be nice to Mike. He's about to rape me.
No. I mean, yeah, I agree with Damone. It's a 5.
I thought it was going to be the odd man out. Yeah, I said it was a 5 too. I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was the way you did the story was this is probably your best story, if I had to say so myself.
Hell yeah, thank you. I was really hoping I got that reveal right. It was kind of inspired by an anime moment, which is kind of wild with a Japanese wrestler. No racism, swear. But like with like when Yusuke walks into the tunnel in Yu Yu Hakusho, some of the anime fans watching might get this, and they see like Sensui creepily watching the TV as like he walks in. I was kind of going for that. But anyways, we're moving on. We got 2 more matches. Couple of fucking heaters. The stipulations keep a going. So following the fallout from Monsters Ball at Big Business, Dr. Stevie has Abyss return to his asylum. The therapy appointments continue, and Abyss continues to describe himself as having visions. He vividly describes one saying, "I see myself burning. I can feel the burns on my skin, and I hear a sinister laugh, but not a familiar one." I probably sound like Filthy Frank right now. Oh my god. "I see you there watching, but unable to save me. I feel the anguish inside and out. Dr. Stevie, Monsters Ball was not the end. It was only the beginning." Dr. Stevie says calmly, "It's all going to be okay. You're in your happy place, and as soon as we figure out who or what the problem is, I will allow you to confront it. For now, just rest your weary eyes as I shut this door. Embrace the calm of the darkness, and I will see you very, very soon." Sessions like these are shown in short vignettes throughout the month. Abyss is not seen live at any point during it, and his championship is not defended at that month's pay-per-view No Way Out.
What championship does he have again?
The mid-card title, the Vanguard title.
Okay.
It's the one that like Darby had and then Sandman had and all that. The next month begins with Dr. Stevie live in live attendance, having filmed the sit-down interview with The Miz. Miz asks, so it's been over a month since Abyss closed his chapter with Darby Allin. We've seen glimpses of his therapy, but why hasn't he been here wrestling? Dr. Stevie says, he's not fit to compete right now. See, Abyss thrives as a wrestler when he's got a reason and a target for his anger. If I brought him here just to wrestle any time, it'd just be reckless. We might get there eventually, but for now, It's for the best if he only wrestles when needed. The Miz says, well, is he making any progress? Stevie says, progress is not linear. Some days I almost feel like I could completely set him free. Other days he needs to be sedated just to keep himself safe. I'm hoping things get more consistent. Miz says, okay, last question here for today. I've noticed you holding and walking around with Abyss's Vanguard Championship. Do you perhaps have aspirations of being a champion in PPW yourself? Mix up my companies. Stevie dismisses, my job as a therapist comes before my wrestling career. I can't believe you reduced my work down to a gold belt. How absurd of you, Miz. Have a good day. And walks out of the interview. The next couple of weeks, Abyss continues to have sessions with visions centered around fire, torture, and the distrust of Dr. Stevie. The last week of that month, Abyss receives a visitor in the asylum, someone he has not seen since Monsters Ball, the Big Red Machine, Kane. Kane attacks and takes out Dr. Stevie on the way in. He then speaks to Abyss through the wall of his chamber. I've seen this vision you've been having. I, too, have felt the anguish. I'm going to free you from this place and this doctor. Meet me at the next episode of PPW Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina. There, we can discuss further. Kane unlocks the door, and Abyss destroys the place on the way out. To begin this month, Abyss finally returns live. He comes out and gets a mic, and he screams, I see the fire. All of this will burn. Me, the fans, the ring. It will all burn. I can warn you, but I can't save you. I'm sorry. I'll stay and burn just to fight it. I can't run away. I can't escape. Kane then joins him in the ring to say, Abyss, you're afraid of the fire that you see in this vision. But what if that fire will set you free? Everyone knows my story about being left to burn and losing everything. That was the best thing to ever happen to me. You just need to embrace the chaos and stop seeking control over the inevitable. That vision is from me, and it is no accident. But you are not the target. The screen shows a video recorded at another time of the asylum burning down. Of the asylum burning down, and Kane says, just like me, the fire is your freedom. While Abyss is freaking out, pacing and pulling his hair, Kane extends his gloved hand for a handshake. Abyss accepts initially, and the crowd cheers until Abyss pulls Kane in for a black hole slam, running away from the ring, manic as can be. The next week on Drive, Kane cuts a promo from backstage saying, Abyss, the more you seek safety, the less you will find. Those padded walls, your handler, the embrace of the straitjacket, all of that is gone now. You must be your own man and use that strength to cause the chaos instead of falling victim to it. Unfortunately, resisting my help will be something you regret for a long time. And now, the fire will find you too. Abyss is seen being restrained by security backstage for causing destruction, breaking things, and being a hazard to himself and others throughout the rest of the show. The next week, Kane has a match squashing Enzo Amore. He chokeslams him down to the mat and pins him. After the match, Abyss slides in the ring with a chain and chokes Kane out. As the bell keeps ringing, Abyss continues to attack at ringside, beating down refs and security who try to interfere. Abyss nails Kane in the back with a chair while he's down repeatedly until the chair dents. Abyss then clears the announce table area, telling everyone to go away, and they do so without resisting. Abyss then gets lighter fluid from under the ring, lights what's left of the announce table, and then Uranagi slams Kane through. He then sits on his knees looking at what he's done, surprised yet fearful. On the go-home show, Kane is shown in a vignette at the remains of the burnt asylum. He says, Abyss, it was here that your visions of fire began, but you weren't crazy. You weren't wrong. They treated you like you were, but in the end, you'll be vindicated. Sometimes being right is the worst outcome. In your case, that is also true. You felt the fire within you, and you saw your last real home burn. Now you must endure the fire on your skin, just as you have dealt unto me. I could not save you, but the only way out is through. This Sunday at Armageddon, I will put you through the fire in an inferno match as he slowly walks away from the crime scene. Um, so now we get to the match. They're both wearing typical attires. Kane is in his like 2001, like with the red chain links and like the mesh top and the mask and hair. Abyss is wearing like his 2008 attire with the white like ward number on it. So the match starts with Kane chasing Abyss into the corner and hitting his signature loud uppercuts with a gloved hand, then stepping back to taunt Abyss, getting scared as he gets closer to the fire. Abyss goes for a discus lariat, but Kane hits a big boot before he can land it, dragging Abyss to the fire, but Abyss is able to fight himself away with a big backdrop. Kane is able to spring to the top rope, avoiding the flames, and hit his signature diving clothesline, making Abyss stumble back enough to catch himself before falling back into the flame. Abyss pulls the bag of tacks out of his pocket and pours them into the center of the ring to deter Kane from pushing forward. Abyss approaches Kane, but gets caught in the grip for the choke slam, but Abyss is able to reverse that into a regular suplex onto the tacks that go through Kane's mesh shirt, revealing the blood on his back. Abyss drags Kane to the fire by his hair and begins to push him toward it. Kane throws a few back elbows to get space. Kane then hoists Abyss up and hit a tombstone. Abyss is able to keep Kane from taking him to the edge of the ring, so Kane retaliates by chokeslamming Abyss onto the tacks. Just as Kane is dragging Abyss to the fire to finish the match, Dr. Stevie comes running down the ramp. Neither Abyss nor Kane can believe it. Kane stays by the burning apron while Abyss scurries back. Kane turns around and takes a black hole slam. Dr. Stevie yells at Abyss, telling him to come over to him. Abyss is fearful, shaking his head no, afraid to go towards the fire. As Kane gets up and Abyss becomes more fearful, Abyss responds by running and spearing Kane into the edge of the ring, sending both toppling over into the flames. Kane's back, hitting first. They both have to end up being put out for the third-degree burns on their skin, but the winner is announced to be Abyss, but it's only Dr. Stevie who gets to celebrate and hold up the championship.
Okay. With this one, I think it wasn't as strong as how the last one was, like story wise. Like, I think this one still had a better story as well. I think the match was cool. I'm at a 3.75 is where I'm at with it.
I think Damone's frozen.
Yeah, Damone needs to be in this Inferno match to thaw off.
I was
He's frozen.
He's gone. I was waiting.
I was
for
gonna
him.
say he is locked in right now.
Right, I was like, he's really thinking real hard. And I was
He
like,
better
oh,
come
wait,
back with a 5 for me.
he's frozen. Yeah, I mean, this one was lacking. I'm gonna go with a 3.25.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it froze. I'm gonna give you a 4. I agree with the stuff Kenny said, that the story isn't as strong as the previous one. Also, the match isn't as good as the previous one, but it's still, I still like the story. I'm still interested on where it goes from here, but it's not as strong as the previous one, so it's not a 5. It, like I said, the match itself was okay. Inferno matches are usually like meh,
Yeah, they're
but
not usually like worker matches,
right,
and
yeah,
these guys aren't putting on like an indie-rific banger.
right,
This is a
yeah,
story match through and through.
yeah. Which I'm not mad at. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a 4.
Okay, and now we get to our main event. Um, so following the controversial ending to Big Business, the new PPW Top of the World Champion Johnny Gargano was set to address the fans and explain his choice to cash in on a beaten down Adam Cole. He comes out to shocking boos from the crowd and says, "I know you're all angry at me, and you're not wrong. Please allow me to explain myself. I've spent my career trying to do right by everyone, whether it's you guys, the guys in the back, or even my opponent on the other side of this ring. But what has that gotten me? Truthfully, not that much. I don't want to go off the deep end, and then he gets booed so hard he can't continue the promo, and he's being hit with shut the fuck up chants. Like, I'm talking like Roman, this is my yard type shit.
This is Gargano you're talking who says this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because like, he's not trying to be a heel, but everybody's still mad at him for cashing in. Like, nobody liked his cash in. Like, that's canon even here on Book It Verse. So he's like trying to be like, no, wait, I'm still a good guy. But the crowd's not buying it. I had to do what's right for me. I know you're all mad, but I hope that down the line, you all can find a way to forgive me and embrace me as your PPW top of the world champion. Adam Cole interrupts quickly, saying, don't come out here trying to act like you feel remorse for screwing me. Do it with your chest. You saw me doing what you couldn't and beating Chris Cockatoo for that world title. If you were who I thought you were, you would have challenged me when I'm standing. But I'm standing now. So put that title up, paper champ.
Chris
As Cole,
Cockatoo is wild.
bro, he got that fucking that fucking emo hair with that little spike up. Where am I at? There we go. As Cole walks toward the ring, you hear no, 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 no. As Chris Calamity and the Sabinists come out. We are not going to let you couple of dorks go on and act like I am not entitled to a rematch for my top of the world championship. The two of you combined can't bench a bar, so I'm surprised you can carry that belt or that briefcase like I carried this company on my back. I can see the ratings declining already. The fans online, they hate this. Bad Guy Has Spoken has given your cash in half a D-money dollar. You couple of comic book geeks couldn't lace my chucks. I will not be left out. He's interrupted by Johnny and Cole saying in unison, will you shut the hell up?
He made me Meltzer.
The D-money dollars are more valuable than the stars.
Ours are more consistent. We don't just jump to like a $7 rating for no reason.
Yeah. We have rules and we stick to them. Johnny says, contrary to what some believe, I am no coward. I will face both of you at No Way Out. The crowd chants, Johnny, coward, before the Sabinists surprise attack both Cole and Gargano. And Gargano makes the save, swinging the belt. Through the rest of the month, Chris Calamity and Adam Cole's hatred for one another boils over, with Johnny caught in the middle, trying to ride the fence as the fans boo him harder. No Way Out comes, and the triple threat match takes place. Cole hits a Panama Sunrise on Johnny. And is running off the ropes for the boom, but is pulled out of the ring by the Sabinists, who jump Cole at ringside. Chris slides in the ring and has Johnny up for the cradle shock until he sees Darby Allin walking through the crowd, finally making his return since they beat him and abandoned him at Big Business. Gargano is able to reverse, locking in the Gargano escape on Chris Calamity and retaining the title. That same month, as noted earlier, Jack Perry had continued to antagonize in the locker room, leading to a match with Shawn Michaels that he won. The Young Bucks turned on Shawn, and the three jumped Shawn until Kenny Omega and Triple H made the save. Omega made it clear that though he couldn't watch Shawn go through what he did, he would not associate with him further. However, he would take on Jack Perry next month at Guilty as Charged. Perry talks his trash in a backstage interview, stating, Kenny Omega, there's a reason that every time you lose your luster, they all come crawling to me, whether it's Matt and Nick, the fans, or even the company. They know that when shit gets tough, you go running. Not me. See, I'm different. I stand tall through all of it. The fans can boo me. The locker room can hate me. The internet can besmirch my name and make me a scapegoat for their fallen hero's demise, but I don't listen. It doesn't get to me. Hell, I feed off it, and it makes me stronger. I love the attention. Like Jesus turning water to wine, I turn vitriol into dollar signs. Kenny, you can face me at guilty as charged, but you will gain nothing. Omega responds later that night, saying, Jack, you're right about one thing. You sure know how to turn genuine disgust into a grift for a buck. Counterfeit bucks, might I add. There's a key difference between me, Sean, and Hunter when it comes to you. They don't know you like I do. You're just some punk kid from the indie scene to them. I know you because I was you and I made you. I gave you a chance and saved your career from drowning. So yeah, you might be all hot shit right now, but I'm going to take your ass back to humble beginnings. The two go on to feud for the month, leading to that pay-per-view match at Guilty as Charged that Kenny Omega wins narrowly in a roll-up reversal combo. Almost accidentally closed my tab. Where am I at? Nope. There we are. Guilty as Charged is also where Chris Calamity vowed to make Darby pay for betraying him, stabbing him in the heart, taking his friendship for granted. He said that he wanted Darby to face those he betrayed and stab them all in the front, facing the Sabinists 5-on-1 at Guilty as Charged. Darby accepts, saying that he's going to make them pay for the time he lost, the opportunity he's given up to appease Chris, and all the times they iced him out, and for every time they stopped him from being him. Darby gets beaten down 5-on-1 week after week, but is able to actually win the 5-on-1 handicap match, clearing the other 4 from the ring, diving onto them, and eventually being able to defeat Chris Calamity in the middle of the ring clean with a coffin drop to beat them in a 5-on-1 handicap match. This month also features Adam Cole's quest for the gold, continuing with him finally getting a singles match for the championship since being cashed in on. He goes Johnny by saying that he has never pinned or submitted him one-on-one anywhere until that cash in. That is also a verifiable fact. Johnny Gargano has never pinned Adam Cole one-on-one. So maybe until that cash in. Maybe he cashed in after a match, accepted a triple threat because he knows he's not good enough to do it the right way. Johnny says he's well aware of their history and that keeps him up at night. And that's why he's going to give Adam this match, because he knows that he has to win it to be legitimate. However, he makes note that many of their matches have had someone else get involved to help Cole, and that it can't end that way. He wants the clean victory. The match happens, and it seems Gargano is going to get the clean win he needs. He has Cole locked in the Gargano escape with nowhere to go. Then, starting with the Sabinists, person after person starts brawling in the ring, declaring the match a no contest. The Sabinists, Darby, Adam, Johnny, Perry, Omega, Umino, Hitman, the Bucks, DX. The arena turns into pandemonium that's all out of control until the show's end. This month begins with Johnny Gargano yelling at General Manager Dan the Dad, saying, I cannot have that be the ending of me and Cole. I have to beat him one-on-one. Lock us in a cage, a boiler room, Punjabi prison. I don't care. I have to have that match at Armageddon. I'll do it for free, please. Dan the Dad says, I have a plan for you and the world title at Armageddon. I agree that there's been too much controversy in your matches as of late. I have a plan to address it. Meet me in the ring tonight to close this show. The end of the night comes, and Dan the Dad says, our top of the world champion, Johnny Gargano, has been plagued by controversy and interference since the day he cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and won his championship. I acknowledge that he's worked hard to get here and does not deserve to traverse murky waters, but that's the wrestling business for you. So at Armageddon, Johnny, you will face Adam Cole inside Hell in a Cell for that title. But you two will not be alone. You'll be facing him in 4 other contenders in an Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. Qualifying matches will be announced on social media throughout the week, and may the best man start next year as our champion. Various faces in the locker room are shown reacting in happiness while Gargano is yelling at Dan the Dad, are you kidding me? The next week, Adam Cole is seen approaching Johnny Gargano in the locker room saying, listen, I'm just as upset as you are. I wanted us to settle our differences and see who the better man is between us. Truth is, I don't know if I was going to make it out of the Gargano escape. I have to know. In that cell, I don't care if they put Jesus Christ himself in that match. I'm gunning for you, and you're gunning for me. If either of us wins, it'll be pinning or submitting the other. Then we will know. Johnny says, I could agree to that because I do know you had no way out of that hold. And when I make you tap in that cell, you're going to get your ass up, You're going to swallow your pride, and you're going to shake my hand and admit I'm the true champ. The night goes on, and the qualifying matches are set to begin. As described before, Kenny Omega initially gets a DQ victory over Shota Umino thanks to the interference of Hangman Page. Jack Perry that night faces the Sandman. Both agree for it to be hardcore rules, which puts the Sandman at an advantage in theory. However, in a bloody, violent match, Perry hits a glass jaw knee strike to finish off a broken down Sandman. Later that night, the Sabanists are shown in their hangout basement, and Chris Calamity is freaking out on all of them. He's ripping down posters, broke the TV, and is throwing vinyls, jewelry, and other valuables across the room. AJ Agnew tries to restrain him and say, "Calm down, Chris. It happens. Setbacks happen. We know better than anyone that life can suck sometimes." Chris seems appeased and then shoves him off, saying, "Shut up. All of you need to get away from me. Somehow, I expect nothing and am always disappointed. Why even bother? Not only did you allow me to lose my title, you couldn't get it back to me, and somehow we all lost to 120-pound Darby Allin. You are a bunch of imbeciles. I will handle this on my own." They all leave the room as Chris's crash out continues. And he says, "Darby, I will get my vengeance upon you. I will make you pay even without these buffoons. Just like you, it's addition by subtraction. I heard we both got qualifying matches next week, and I really hope I could kill two birds with one stone, winning my title back and saying goodbye to my old best friend." The next week, Kenny Omega addresses his DQ victory for a spot in the Hell in a Cell, saying, "I won in this match more than anything, but I will not accept it like that. I get that Hangman and Shota have a deeper issue, but I'm a better wrestler than both of them combined. I've asked General Manager Dan the Dad to grant both men an opportunity for my spot. I am putting it on the line. I will face Hangman Page and Shota Umino in a triple threat. I've beat each one of them one-on-one, but beating them both together is another crown in my there's a jewel in my crown and another stone in my path." Bang! The existing entrants of Cole, Gargano, and Perry sit at ringside for the qualifying matches. Perry is ringside for Omega's match with Umino and Hangman. The drama in wrestling unfolds as described earlier, and Omega gets the win. Perry claps mockingly while Omega points at Perry, saying, "I beat you once already." Darby Allin has his qualifying match with Chris Calamity at ringside. He faces Mark Henry and gets physically overpowered basically the entire match, but is able to fight his way through and eventually topples the Giant, pinning him after a coffin drop. Chris claps and walks backstage. Later that night, he will face Nick Nemeth, with Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano bickering on commentary. In a back-and-forth match, Calamity gets the best of Nick Nemeth clean, reversing a Fameasser into a cradle shock, pinning him for the final spot. Perry is recorded later that night, recording a video in the parking lot on his phone, saying, "Now that we know who's in the match, I could say with even more confidence that I'll be walking out champion. Everyone else in this match, their best days are behind them, while mine are before me. I'm on the rise, and not a one of them can stop me. And it's even sweeter knowing that they and all those dumbass marks out there will hate every second of it," before walking away and getting into his car. On the go-home show, it begins with all 6 men inside the Hell in a Cell structure, told by Dan the Dad to state their piece before Armageddon. The champion, Johnny Gargano, begins by stating, "It makes me sick that I hold this title and I do not get the respect I deserve to no fault of my own. I take every challenge. I fight fair. I put on a show. But every win, there's something putting an asterisk next to it. There will be no ifs, ands, buts, asterisks. I will leave Armageddon the undisputed," he holds the title up in Cole's face, "champion." Cole says, "Johnny, I want to feel bad for you, but you're a giant jackass, and I've proven that I can better than you 100 times, so spare me the theatrics. Everyone knows I should be the champion. Everybody wants me to be the champion. That's been apparent since I beat this emo clown in the middle of this ring 6 months ago. At Armageddon, I overcome every obstacle, and I will leave with the belt that I earned a long time ago." Chris cuts in and says, "You both stole from me. I carried this company on my back and held this place down for months on end. I am the face of this company, and good thing, because you're all ugly as hell. With this match, I will secure my place on top, and I will never be knocked down again." And Darby says, "Give me a break," as he's walking out of the cage and starting to climb up to the top of it. Chris, you say you'll do anything to win, but what you really mean is will take any shortcut to make it easy. I'll do anything to win. I'll jump off this thing and risk my life if it means kicking some ass, making these fans jump out of their chair, and one day going out down as one of the greatest to ever do this. Chris, I never needed you, nor does PPW. Taking you out and becoming champion in one big leap will be a moment that everyone remembers for a lifetime. Um, Perry goes next, saying, Darby, how does it feel knowing that I'm everything you're supposed to be? You were supposed to take the reins, but you're simply too stupid. Chris might be annoying and not as talented as me, but in his ideas and theories, he's not wrong. You do what it takes to get on top without caring what anyone thinks. That's why I'm the best fit for champion, because I have a winning pedigree about me. You're a lovable loser. Hell, you all are besides Chris. He's just a loser. But I am the most hated GOAT. And Kenny Omega finishes the segment by saying, that's nice and all, but Kenny Omega is a living legend who has done it all and still leaves the fans clamoring for more. Perry, you really were on the rise, but you fell from your peak because you simply could not make it past me. I've been a champion everywhere I've gone, and even some places I really haven't. That's because they know when I step into that ring, I can win against anyone and put on an all-time classic. That's why Dan the Dad was crossing his fingers I'd make it into this match, because I'm the real credibility here. Sunday night, Armageddon, Hell in a Cell. We will find out who the best wrestler and the leader of this company really is. All right. Into attires Darby Allin is wearing. He's back to his like white jean shorts, cut off with the tights underneath. Kenny Omega is wearing green and gold tights. Chris Calamity is wearing black and white tights with a pink studded belt. Sorry, 1 second. I keep losing my tires. Got Chris. Johnny Gargano is wearing Deadpool attire. And Adam Cole is wearing the camo with the gold accents. With Jack Perry wearing his usual black, red, and white. So for the spots. As the bell rings, all 6 men explode into action, immediately throwing wild strikes. Kenny Omega launches off the ropes with a front flip to the outside, knocking Chris Calamity into the cage, while Darby Allin springboards off the top rope, hitting a Phoenix Splash to the outside into Jack Perry. Meanwhile, Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano are brawling near the ropes inside the ring, traded rapid-fire punches and kicks, leading to Adam Cole hitting a Ushigoroshi. Cole and Gargano throw super kicks at each other at the same time, both men staggering back. Calamity then catches Gargano with a super kick of his own, but Omega retaliates with his own, rocking Chris Calamity. All 6 men each hit each other with a flurry of super kicks for a wild indie-rific moment. Eric Bischoff going to hate this shit. I'm just going to warn y'all. Calamity and Perry climb up the turnbuckles and try to fight for control of the top rope. Perry lands a springboard arm drag off the top of the turnbuckle, sending Chris crashing down to the other side of the ring. However, Chris backs up, steps up to the second rope, and hesitation drop kicks Perry off the top, sending him crashing to the steel wall on the outside. Darby attempts a suicide dive outside the ring onto Jack Perry, but Perry catches him midair and basically World's Strongest slams him onto the ring apron. And then as the crowd gasps, he throws him back with a fallaway slam into the cage. He then picks up Darby off the floor and swings him by his leg into the cage wall. Johnny Gargano gets on the top rope and then hits a flying tornado DDT onto Omega. He then hits the one final beat on Calamity on the other side of the ring and waits for Cole to get up and hits his slingshot spear through the ropes, going on a wild run. Omega hits You Can't Escape on Calamity, where it's the standing rolling slam into the moonsault. But before he can hit that moonsault, Jack Perry is up top with him, and Omega hits a one-winged angel on the top rope, almost pitting Perry for the 1-2-3, but Adam Cole barely breaks up the pin. Cole then hits a Panama Sunrise on Gargano. Perry hits a Spanish Fly, and Omega hits on Cole, and then Omega hits a running V-trigger on Perry. Darby and Chris ended up fighting outside the ring, and then to the outside of the cell. Darby ends up setting up a chair and brainbusters Chris Calamity onto it. Darby then clears the announce table and puts Calamity on. The crowd cheers knowing that he's preparing for his big moment. He climbs up to the top. He stares at the crowd, takes a deep breath, and Coffin drops off the top of the cell. But before he can connect with Chris Calamity, the Sabinists return to Chris's leadership, pulling him off of the table, leaving Darby crashing into nothing but announce table and floor. Gargano and Cole, both looking to take control of the match inside the ring, climb the turnbuckles and exchange punches. Gargano manages to flip over Cole and hits a Hurricane Rana, sending Cole flying to the other side. But Cole ends up waiting for Gargano to get down and hits him with a boom that sends Gargano flying to the floor. Omega is on the apron. Gargano is trying to get up, but Jack Perry jumps off of Gargano's back and glass jaw knee strikes Kenny flying into the cell wall. Omega gets revenge on Perry and nails him with a Snapdragon suplex into the steel steps outside the ring. Calamity goes into the ring and hits a cradle shock on Johnny, kick out. Hits one on Adam, kick out. Then both men team up on Chris, hitting double super kicks. Johnny hitting the slingshot, one last beat DDT, and Adam Cole Panama Sunrise, then brawling it out with each other. That is until Kenny Omega moonsaults both of them from the top rope. But then once he knocks them down, Calamity is able to get up from the apron and hit a springboard 450. Cole and Gargano clean the ring again, hitting double superplexes on Omega and Calamity. Then they're able to get up and fight each other one more time. Cole hits the boom pin attempt. The pin attempt is reversed into the Gargano escape. But as Gargano has it locked in, Perry then sneaks in to hit the glass jaw knee strike on Gargano, pinning him and stealing the victory and holding up the title to a crowd that is stunned, upset, and booing their heads off, throwing trash as the cell raises.
Okay, so there are three people I was hoping would win this match. Either Darby, which this is probably going to be the first time in history, and the only time I'm rooting for Darby to win something.
Hey, I did something right.
Well, maybe
You got Darby over.
You got Darby over. Cole or Jack Perry. And
Thank God that third one was Perry.
right, yeah. So I think Perry winning is the right call here. He's one of the three. I think was like if I was ranking him, he's in that top three of people I wanted to see win. I think you did a really good job of like intertwining all the stories and all that, especially when you have six people and trying to get all their stories to mesh and make sense on why they're all in this match. I feel like you're the strongest character out of like the group, besides like because you already kind of had fleshed out the Calamity gimmick and the Gargano, because that was the majority of your beginning of your bucket verse. I feel like what's his face? Perry had one of the strongest characters. And I know it's very close to his current like scapegoat, I'm a dickhead gimmick, but I think you did a really good job. And I'm gonna give you a 5.
Yeah.
And the match itself, like the actual match itself, was really good. I knew the Darby jumping off the cell was coming, but I was that's gonna be one of those spots. It's
That's
like
one of those
Jeff,
things that's predictable in a
right,
good way.
Yeah, right. It's like Jeff Hardy. If there's a ladder match, Jeff's fucking flying off of it, but it's still fire when he does it. So
Okay, I'm not gonna say it was that high to where I was at a 5. I'm just at a 4. I think there were some things in the build I wasn't really messing with like that, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, I gave you a straight 4.
Put me
Hell yeah.
down for 4 and a nickel.
4 and a nickel. Got you.
4 and a nickel is crazy.
All right.
I say that as
What
if
was
I
the
didn't
nickel
give him
for?
a penny.
It just is.
I gotta know what the nickel's for.
For whatever, for you earned it.
He said, "Here you go." He said he had it on him.
Spare
He's using up all his
No.
change while he can.
I'm glad that I did a 6-man match 2 shows in a row, and I'm glad this time I at least picked the decent winner. Also with that being based on who I had in Book It verse 5, because like I'll do the reveal, like the blooper. Um, by all means, this story was built for Adam Cole to win. But at least going up into show 3. But I realized that I had to pivot because like I'm not gonna have Adam Cole, and I got some shit planned using this universe. So I had to do something, and plus Perry's gonna make more sense in the future. So that's why I did it. But yeah, that's PPW Armageddon Part 2.
Good
We're
job.
gonna wrap up for the night. I can see it in Mike's eyes. Mike,
Yeah,
can they find you anywhere?
I gotta be up at 5 a.m. No, leave me alone.
Hey, fuck Mike. D Money, where can they find you?
You can find me on all the bullshit not owned by Elon Musk, because fuck that guy. At Dumb Money T13, so that's DAMONEY T13.
And can you tell them about your 37 shows?
You can find me on all social medias at Bad Guy Spoken. Catch the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube's, and you can also catch Unbiased, the football show. You'll see TK throw up the little you like this, and you can also catch Hood Movie Review. Review all your favorite and not so favorite hood movies. And you can also catch Geek in the motherfucking sheets. We talk all things anime, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, talk about all that stuff. And then last but not least, you can also catch Not a Real Court, where we argue about such trivial things like the best fruit, because we're not doing best vegetable.
Yeah, they ain't never going to eat a vegetable. Joe's on the show. If anybody else was the host, maybe. But he's like, they don't sell okra at Burger King.
Hey,
Who the fuck is
uh,
Who the
that
fuck
was
is who's just eating okra? Like he's out here.
down here in the South, we fuck with okra.
Joe's not
That's
eating
crazy.
Burger King. He's eating tuna wraps.
And lastly, if you want to find me, what are you saying, Mike?
Eggs. What? I say he's eating tuna wraps for breakfast with eggs. Like
Tuna's already gross, and combining it with eggs is
that's
I love
Starting your
eggs,
day off with
but
tuna is crazy. Starting your day.
that pisses me off. He shouldn't be rating vegetables, actually.
jalapeno. I think he puts banana peppers, jalapenos in it. One of the two.
It was
I feel like
jalapenos.
it's jalapenos.
It'd
He
be better
uses,
if
he uses his toaster to warm up the.
he had a new stove just to make that.
He uses his toaster to warm up the tortilla.
Oh my god. Okay. Y'all gonna make me. This is a character assassination. I hate this man.
No, I'm not even lying. That wasn't even
No,
me
he's
being
Yeah,
dead
funny.
that's the
serious.
truth.
I wasn't even being funny. I'm dead serious. He puts the tortilla on top of the toaster and then turns them on, like both sides
So,
of them on.
the
Heat rises and it toasts it a little bit.
could just get like I don't know.
Could just do it
That
on the
pisses me
stove.
Let's say
clean
he's
off.
at his house when he does this. Like he can do this anywhere else.
Bro lives like he in a hotel room at home.
He doesn't
Um,
cook. He doesn't.
Well,
cook.
he lives like a college student. That's how a college student would do
like that Bachelor Frog meme from like 2009. That's Joe.
it.
But if you want to find me anywhere, 2 places: Blue Sky at Heel Pepsi Man, Heel HEEL. I can spell it now, Pepsi Man, and then Reach the Ropes
OnlyFans.
Wrestling Discussion Group, AO, and then Reach the
Check out
Ropes
his
Wrestling
OnlyFans.
Discussion. We talking our shit. I think we're still talking about the Rumble fallout a little bit. I don't know, but that's where this all began. That's where you can find me accessibly. Hit me up there. And with that being said, that's an episode of Book It. See you at the bookies next week.
Bye.